Go ahead.
Thanks, Jen. Just, you say all options are on the table. Let's be more specific on the possibility of a gas tax holiday. Would the White House support doing that?
I have nothing to predict for you at this point, but all options remain on the table.
He said in his speech, if Russia attacks Americans in Ukraine, we will respond. Is there specific intelligence suggesting that some kind of targeted attack on Americans in Ukraine is possible?
I don't think he was suggesting that. I think as we've conveyed, as we've warned and been very clear about the risk that would be posed to anyone who's in Ukraine, including American citizens, were Russia to invade, one of the biggest militaries in the world, that there would be serious risk to civilians. That's, I think, what he was conveying.
And with the Ukrainian president slated to be out of his country this weekend to go to the Munich Security Conference, do you guys think that's a good idea for him to be gone right now?
I don't think we have an assessment on that from here. Obviously, the Munich Security Conference is an opportunity for any leader to engage with, communicate with other leaders in the world, and obviously the vice president is going, as you know.
He's got a busy day, obviously, with Ukraine, but has the president talked to any Supreme Court nominee? Have any interviews been scheduled? Will they
I'm going
happen
to
in person?
disappoint you here, Ed, and just convey that I think we're not going to give day-to-day updates from here moving forward about whether or not he's done interviews. What I can confirm for you is we're still on track to for the president to make a decision and make an announcement before the end of the month, which is in 2 weeks.
We file that under the guy.
He will do some interviews in the next 2 weeks. That's what I can confirm for you. Go ahead, Jackie.
Thanks, Jen. We've been told for a long time that some cyber attacks would likely precede an invasion. So if it turns out that Russia is behind what happened today, or is, I guess how I should phrase it is there work being done quickly to figure out if Russia is behind what happened today so that sanctions can be imposed before there is bloodshed? Or is the calculus still sort of centering on force on force or some passing over the
Sure. Well, we are constantly doing those assessments, and certainly as any cyber attack happens, that is certainly a process that happens behind the scenes and that our intelligence community and our national security community undertakes, as it would be in this case as well. I would note, though, as it relates to sanctions, one, there's a range of means that we could respond, both seen and unseen, so it's to a cyber attack or any other attack, and the president has the purview to do whatever he chooses in that regard. But our view remains that the crippling package of sanctions is an effective deterrent. So if you do that all in advance, what is to stop them from moving forward? Now, that may be a different of policy issue, different as of opinion, I should say, on policy issues with some in Congress, and that's okay, but that is our view from the administration.
And then this may or may not be related at all, but is there any information on what caused the power outage on the North Lawn? I mean, every TV network lost power at the same time during.
It was a very inconvenient time, I will just note for all of you and for us. I don't have any assessment of that, no, or yes.
And
Go
then
ahead.
does the White House view Ukraine giving up on NATO aspirations as a possible off-ramp? Understand that the president has said, the administration has said over and over that NATO members would not encourage or would not give up that ability for someone else to join. But they do have a long way to go. And now that there's all of this concern that if there was a member, if they did become members, it could potentially trigger Article 5. Is there any discussion among NATO allies about how significant it would be if Zelensky were to make that offer himself?
Well, we have not raised that from the United States. And again, I would reiterate what I said a little bit earlier, which is that our position is that we are not going to pressure Ukraine or any country to join or not join an alliance, that it is nations have the right to sovereignty and territorial integrity, and that's a choice for them to make.
Why is the administration encouraging Americans who are or fleeing through Poland to bring proof of COVID-19 vaccination? As I understand it, Poland does not require that. So is there going to be a shift in messaging for Americans who are trying to get out through Poland?
I would check with the State Department on that. I'm happy to follow up with you on your behalf as well.